Where did you hear that? No, 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 that's all wrong. It's rubbish. Oh, please, 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 please stay. Don't worry. This is not for you. I'm only trying to tell you that this is not a good way to correct somebody. We should be really polite in our correction. But how do we do that? It's hard, right? To be soft when you're still angry and when you still want someone to change. But don't worry, you should stay with me, Michelle, and I'm going to help you in this problem of yours, and you're very soon going to know how to politely correct somebody. Come, let's start. The first phrase here. I'm afraid that's not quite right. Where can we use this phrase? Okay, you have a friend who does not speak in English very well, and that friend says, "This are a door." And you're like, okay. So you have that urge to correct her or him, and you're like, okay, maybe I should tell her. And then you decide to say, hey, you're wrong. You shouldn't say like that. How will she feel? Of course, very bad. So a better way instead would be to say, I'm afraid that's not quite right. You would rather want to say, this is a door, instead of saying, this are a door, right? Let's look at the second phrase. Actually, I think you'll find that. So if this friend of yours has decided that she's not going to believe you and she's going to do what she wants to do, she's going to speak what she wants to speak, then what do? Then you tell her, actually, I think if you see a grammar book, you'll find that are is used for plural and is used with singular. And this door is a door, which is single. So you should say is a door. This is a door. And you can start this whole conversation by saying, actually, I think you'll find that. And that will be a very polite way to say it. So I'm going to write for you here. Polite way. Let's look at the third phrase here. Both of these are very polite ways. The third phrase here, I'm afraid you're mistaken. The moment we talk about mistake, the situation changes. If you're pointing at someone's mistake, you're being a little bit more strong in the way you're speaking. But you're not harsh. Don't worry. Sometimes it's important to point to someone's mistake. So here, I'm afraid you're mistaken is slightly more strong. Let's imagine a situation. You overheard two people talking. Overhear means that two people are talking and you heard what they are speaking. You're listening to what they are speaking, which is actually not considered very good manners. But sometimes we are in a situation like that where we just hear what the other people are speaking, and it's not by, we are not intentionally hearing it. It just happens. So if you heard two people talking, A and B, they're talking about who's the founder of Microsoft. And one of them says it's Steve Jobs, and the other one's like, okay, you surely would know who is the founder of, you may know who is the founder of Microsoft. You might just tell him, I'm afraid, sorry to interrupt, I'm afraid you're mistaken. The founder of Microsoft is not Steve Jobs, it's, who is that? Bill Gates, yes. The next one, I don't think you're right about. This is also a slightly strong statement. I don't think you're right about something. Here also, what you're actually talking about is facts, something basically based on general knowledge. And here also, you can use the same phrase in the same situation. You can tell that person, I'm afraid you're mistaken, or you could tell them, I don't think you're right about the founder of Microsoft, right? These two are slightly strong statements. Slightly, not very strong. They are not so harsh, it's fine. No, you've got it wrong. If you say it like, no, you've got it wrong, then it's very rude. But if you say, no, you've got it wrong, that's a pleasant way of saying the same thing. So if you're at all planning to use this statement, then I suggest you say it in a slightly softer tone of voice. Where would you get to hear this statement? Maybe in a classroom, a teacher talking to a student. Maybe the student comes to the teacher with an answer and the teacher says, no, you've got it wrong. Or maybe a child going to her father with a math problem. She solved it and she's showing her father, Daddy, this is the problem that I've solved. So the daddy might just reply, no, you've got it wrong. The correct answer will be whatever it is. The next one here. If you check your facts, you'll find that. Facts means something which is true for all. Everyone knows about it. It's common for all. The sun rises from the east is a fact and it cannot change. So you can also use this in a similar situation where, we are talking about the population of China. If you check your facts, you will find that China is the most populated country in the world. We are talking about a topic of general knowledge. So that's where you can use it. It's a fact which cannot change. May change in the future though. Some other countries are coming up. Where did you hear that? Do you think that is very polite? I don't think so. That's not a very polite statement unless you're talking to your best friend or someone very close to you, maybe your sister or your brother. If you tell them, where did you hear that? It's quite normal. But if you tell that to a person you don't know too well, then it might come out as a very rude reaction. So your friend tells you, maybe you love drinking coffee and you drink it many times a day, and one fine day your friend sees you drinking coffee and she's like, come on man, it's not such a good idea, coffee is not so very good for health. And you reply to her, where did you hear that? That could be a bit insulting, She might feel bad about it. So you have to be careful about the people that you're using it with. So these three, this one is slightly rude and insulting. You're talking rubbish, absolutely rubbish. Did you see me in the beginning of the video saying that? And how did you feel when I started the video like that? I'm sure you didn't feel very good about it and it was like, what's wrong with her? More like that. So if you say that to somebody, you're talking rubbish, it's very, very rude. And for any one of you who does not know the meaning of rubbish, rubbish means garbage or dirt. Useless things otherwise. Something that is not useful, something that you throw away. So what you're saying is that what you're talking is absolutely useless. And that's a very rude statement. So I suggest that you never use this. Kindly refrain from the use of this statement. No, that's all wrong. That's also quite rude. Also depends on the tone of your voice. So I would suggest that you refrain from using these three, the last three sentences, including where did you hear that, because that's insulting. You're in for a treat. Because you stayed till the end in this video, I'm going to share some golden rules with you for correction. How should you correct somebody? Here, private. So it's really good if you correct somebody privately. That means in a personal space where it's only you and that person and nobody else. It's a much better way. And in case you're in a classroom and you have a lot of people, children or maybe adults sitting in front of you and you're giving a class and you know that somebody has made an error, I suggest that you don't correct them at that time. You correct them after the class. And if you need to correct them in the class, then do it anonymously. That means do not name them. Do not say that this person said this. Just make a correction. Do not name the person. That will save the embarrassment for that person. Gentle. Please be soft and kind while your correction. Make sure you say, I'm sorry, I'm afraid, I'm very sorry that you're mistaken, things like these. It's good to apologize before correcting, if at all you're going to correct. Explanatory. You should give a reason why you're correcting, and also what is the correct answer. That's what explanatory means. And you should also remember that the person who is corrected should come back and thank you and not instead tell you that you should not have corrected me like that. So it's better if they come back and tell you, thank you for correcting me, I'll never make that mistake again. So ask yourself that question before you're correcting them. Thank you so much. I hope this really helps you. Now please, if at all you want to be a little critical, do some polite criticism and not harsh criticism with anyone. I'll see you again very soon with a new topic. Till then, you miss me and I'm gonna miss you too. Please subscribe to our channel and do leave in the comments any topics you want me to cover in the future. Take care. See you. Bye-bye.